The second video in this little series is going to just focus on the dragon's wings. So we've got the dragon sketch on one layer and we've got the wings on a new layer. So last session we started with a sketch of a dragon, and what we want to do now is do the wings. So let's just double check that we've got the layering right. So on the layers we've got the layer with the sketch dragon almost transparent, as you can see, and we've now moved on to the body layer, which is named correctly, and we've got it unlocked. We've locked the sketch dragon layer and we've got the body unlocked, ready to work on. So what tool are we going to use? So to do the bone structure, I want to use this tool. So it's going to be the volume tool, but I'm going to use it in a certain way. So I'm going to put planar on, which gives me a plane to work on. And if on your non-drawing hand, if you half depress the trigger, you can snap it to a plane. So if we're going to work across the top, let me just find a good angle to show you. Let's try it like that. That means I'm going to draw on this plane now, which is quite useful. So you can see everything will be on that plane. So just undo that. And then one thing we're going to have to get used to is making materials that is going to carry on into our other program. This one's going to be done in Cinema 4D. So we're going to pick, this is like a purpley grey, and this is going to be used for nearly all the metal, something like that, a bit too light. Let's just undo that. There we go, that one will be fine. And what I'm going to do is, let's just get the size about right. It doesn't matter about size really, because I'm going to be making a piece and then shrinking it down, and we're going to be using parts over and over again. So first of all, I want this bone here, or this strut that comes off the main body. So we'll just draw it, put a bend in it, and then I'll leave it circular at the end because I'm going to put a pin through that, and then bring it down here, and we'll leave it. Bear in mind it's not going to be organic, it's supposed to be mechanical. So I don't like that actually, so I'm going to undo that, and the reason I don't like it is I don't think I've got it thick enough. So we'll delete it and we'll do it again. You can see what I mean in a moment. Just don't think I gave it enough volume. There we go, that's perfect. So that will be this bone here. Now straight away I've decided I've made a big mistake, and it's a good one to remember, is I've just made it without doing it symmetrically. You can see I want it on both sides. So again, we'll just quickly go back. We'll go and put on our mirror. Let's get back to settings. We'll make sure mirror's back on. And we should be able to now do exactly the same thing. And we've got that duplicate across the other side. So it's a good thing to watch out for. It's an easy mistake to make. That's that bone done. So we'll put that one in place, put it right by the rib cage. There we go, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to put a pivot, like a pin in here, so that it would be able to hinge here if it was a mechanical part. So we're going to do the ulnar and the radius here. We'll do it all in one part. So we'll come round like this, a bit thinner on this side, back to the circular bit. And then we're going to go larger on this side. And then back to the base, and that gives us that bone there. It's a bit chunky, but that's what I like. And we're going to sit that on top, like so. So that's given me, in fact, no, let's sit it underneath, shall we? Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to, as I say, that's where that pivots. And then everything from there on is a finger. So I'm just going to do, rather than doing each individual bone, there should be a hand here, and then we'll go straight into fingers. But what I'll probably do is let's just do one little piece that represents the hand. I'm just making a shape. And this bit doesn't really matter, just for now. And that's going to hold the fingers on it. And now we'll draw some fingers. So again, I'll go back to this orientation. So start the fingers here, and then there would be a knuckle of some description, second digit, and third. Coming back on myself, the joints again, and back on myself, and I might just put a little circle at the end there. There you go. Remember how to move them. If you're not, go back to the basic videos and just take a look. Inner grips to scale them. There you go. That's worked out quite well now. And I'll have a series of them coming down here. How do I do a series of them? Well, you grab it at the bottom here. Click once. Click again. Scale it a little bit actually. Just making sure I'm matching my sketch underneath, which I am. Don't mind them intersecting here. So they're all fine. And now there's a bone here which comes off the elbow, which I guess is the, it's kind of the olecranon, I guess, but I'm not that sure on dragon anatomy that I know, and also they don't exist, which is another point. I don't know exactly what bones to put in. I'm basing it off a bat anatomy, and again, it's also a robot, so it's not, it's, you know, it's always best to base something off reality rather than just completely making it up. Learn the rules and bend them is the way I was taught, but make sure you know the rules first of all. Almost. You can see what I'm doing there. I'm just made it too thin, so I honestly don't know whether I need that there now. Well, now I've looked at it, I think what I'm going to do is delete it. So grab it and then red button to delete, and I'm going to draw a specific bone just for this part. Wasn't comfortable the way I was trying to mash that one part into it. There we go. So I've drawn a very specific one just for this bit. Maybe even a bit smaller, like so. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that now. So that's really the bone structure. I don't really need to do anything on the body because the skin's going to come all the way back here. And I've got to do some kind of a joint system. Let's just make sure that one's on the top. Actually, that would look better. Would it? No. I know what's happened. Oh, I know what I don't like about that. I keep seeing things and change them. Is that hand part? So I'm going to make that a double, and then change this to go in between that double. And that makes it a bit more mechanically sound, if you can say that about a dragon wing. And now I'd like a bit of a bend in here, so it goes up and over and down and back to the body. Yep, I'm happy with that. So let's put the skin of the wing on, then we might put some details on it before we go to the next part. So how does that work? So I'm going to use a different tool now. So I'm going to go to curve surface, I'm going to put precise on, and I'm going to use the points at this point. That'll allow me to be very controlled with it. I'll bring that initial tension right down, and now we need to change to a new material. So we'll stay on that really pink, but we'll go for a grey. And anything that's skin or membrane, I'm going to keep it to that grey. So how does this work? Let's have a look. I want it to come all the way from the back here. So what I'm going to do is start here. Actually, that surface tension might need to come down a little bit more. Initial tension, sorry. There we go. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do 1. I'm clicking 2. And then we're at the wing. I'm going to grab both the inners. That allows me to move. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, why have I done that? Because now when I grab it, click the blue button on the non-drawing hand, I'm going to adjust it by point. So I didn't want too many points, and I wanted to know exactly where they were. I'm not going to snap it to the center, because with these wings, what we were hoping to do with them is make them so we can flap them and animate them later. So I'd like to have them completely separate left to right. And now what I'm going to do is just adjust it point by point. So I'm just covering over each of the points, going to each of the points like so, and just pushing it into place with the bone structure. And if it doesn't work, I just bring the points together like so. And now I'll go slowly work our way through this one. So one here, and I'm going to leave that gap between those two bones because I think it looks quite cool. I'm going to bring it in here, and this one, I'm going to do it one by one, nice and slowly. This one, and keep zooming right in. This one. There we go, so they're all almost in place. That's good. Now look underneath, it's not worked, so I'm going to go bring that one up. Let's go back and carry on where we were. So over here, to go back a little bit with that one. Trying to fill in all those air gaps without losing any of the design. This one's fine, so bring that down here. I want it up in the middle, because what I'm after is it to look like the skin's flapping in the air. So this should have an arc in the middle here. And you think it needs another, if you think it needs another span, you simply just flick with your thumb on your drawing hand, go to the one that's got the orientation. So red was this way, green is this way. I'm going to pick this one and click, and that gives me another span like that. Now it does look like I've messed it up a little bit, but what that means is I've got a lot more flexibility. So flick my thumb again, bring it down, and now look, it's going to be easy now with this extra span in the middle there. I can bring it down, just separate those two out. In fact, just they seem too close together there, so I must have done two by mistake, but that's fine. Just make sure they're separated. And what we'll do is, actually no, that has gone too far, so I'm going to go back until, yeah, I'd added one too many spans for some reason, so grab this span again and just click once. That was it, there we go. And then I just undid it by mistake then. Has that done it all the way? So just checking it all the way down. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And now back to the single polygon points, single control points, and then we go back in and we just adjust them again now. So I've added one extra in. You've got to be careful, because if you add too much complexity, it just makes it harder to manipulate it. It's like working with subdivision surfaces. You've got to keep it as low polygon as you can, as possible, as long as possible. That's cool. So let's bring this up, and we're back where we were now. So this in the middle is fine. This one is fine. This one is going into the right surface, so that's good. This one's got to come across here a little bit. Just keep looking at the flow. Keep going backwards out as well, if that helps. That's fine. Got a lot down here for some reason. So we'll bring all of these up. You can see straight away it brings it into the right location. Remember, we had lots on the end, so it's going to take a minute to get all of these right. And this one up, and this one up, this one up. And remember, we'll go underneath again in a moment like we did and have a look what's happening underneath to make sure we can see all the spans. I want to be able to see all the bones from below. So got some bad ones going on down here. So that one's good now. Beard I should change at the front like so. And we'll bring him back like that. There we go. That's fine. A little bit more tweaking. Trouble is, if you fix it in one orientation, you might have broken it in another. So you've got to tweak it and tweak it until you get it right. Cool. So that's okay. A little bit more noodling just till we're happy. Keep spotting areas where as I pull one, I then change the other by mistake. There we go. So almost there, almost there. We just need to bring that one down a tiny bit. You can actually see it's beginning to look a little bit like folded cloth or folded skin. Move that one up there. Yep, that's fine. So let's have a look at it from a distance. Turn the points off. Yeah, that's nice. So we're quite okay with that. Might need a little bit more there. I'm not going to stop until it's right. So, and this is where this does slow you down a little bit if you're getting to the noodling point like this. So the last bit of this section is we'll put some metallic looking nuts on the joints. So I've already made a grey that's just for anything that's like chrome or metal. I'm going to use this tool, which is the revolve tool, and we'll keep it with those settings. Now if we take our non-drawing hand and we just click in the center, that'll give us a vertical line. You can see the shape that's going to come there. You can see the circle that's going to come. So we're going to make a little shape that's kind of the nut. So we'll go quite close with one click. Don't worry about the scale and the size of this. We're just making the shape. Wherever you want a nice hard edge return, do 2 clicks. There we go. In fact, that's snapped together a little bit too quickly for my liking. I want more surface detail in that. So I want to do a return there. There we go. And now we'll take that piece. You can see it's set on mirror, so it's going to give us those mirrored sides, and we can use this as a repeater over and over again now. So we just pop it down, stamp it down wherever we want that as a joint. We've already made all these decisions. We'd said already where we want these, so this shouldn't be too hard. I'll only put them on the first joint there, like so. That one looked like it was, yeah, that one looked like it was floating in the air. So we don't want that. And then underneath we'll just do, turn it round, trigger to stamp it down, stamp it down. I'll put a couple more on here to put a bit more interest around here. Scale it down again. Slightly bigger one here, and I'm going to put one in the middle as well. Actually no, change my mind, I will put them here. Okay, and now we can use this as a repeat because it's like like so. Because this wing is going to be rotating around, we're going to group it all as one. So I'll stamp this down and then put another stamp on the back of that, and then we'll take that as a whole, and this will be we'll start it right from here and here, and then we'll put 2 on the back, slightly smaller, maybe 2 in the middle. Might delete them later, but for now that looks good, and that'll give us like something to rotate when we group it all together. So let me do that right now. So I'm going to select over everything like so. Just make sure you've grabbed it all. I didn't actually. So you see here I've missed one piece. That's one big watch out. So make sure you've got all of the set that you want. Oh, again, not quite. We'll get there. There we go. And then just hit on the non-drawing hand the purple button just to connect it as joining it, and then basically that's now your wings finished and in position. So that's section 2 done. We've done the wings, so let's move on to, let's do the head and the neck maybe, and move into the body. In fact, we'll do the whole vertebra next, all the way down from the skull right the way down to the tail.